Hello everyone. Our today topic is about weather and climate. In this lesson, we will be learning about types of weather and climate and difference between them and learning about causes and effects of climate change. As you have learned in previous grade, the condition of the atmosphere around us at any given time is called the weather. The weather changes on day-to-day and even hourly basis. It can take different forms such as hot and humid, or rainy during summer, dry and cold or snowy during winter, and so on. There are various factors of the atmosphere that are measured to describe as well as predict weather of a particular region. These include temperature, air pressure, winds, air mass, humidity, and precipitation. On the other hand, climate is more of a long-term atmospheric condition. When a place has a similar type of weather on average over a long period of time, around 30 years, we call it the climate. The weather of an area depends on the type of climate the area has while. Climate is the average weather condition of that area. There are three types of climate: polar, temperate, and tropical. Polar climate. Characteristics: freezing temperature, dry weather, very little rain and ice and snow-covered land almost throughout the year with almost no vegetation. Regions. The regions surrounding the geographical poles of the Earth, North Pole and South Pole. The Arctic region on the North Pole and the continent of Antarctica on the Southern Pole. They are also known as frigid zone. Human settlement. Due to harsh and extremely cold environment, the living conditions are not ideal. So not many people live in polar regions. On the North Pole, in the Arctic region, some North American areas like Alaska of USA and Yukon, the Northwest Territories and Nunavut of Canada, European areas like Greenland, the territory of Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, and Russia. On the South Pole in the Antarctic region, no permanent human settlements there. Only some research labs are set up. Temperature climate. Characteristics. The weather is not extreme, neither very cold nor very hot. Moderate amount of rain and snow over the air. Regions. Regions in both north and south of the equator, between polar and tropical regions. In the north, below the polar Arctic Circle and above tropical region over the equator. In the south, above the polar Antarctica and below the tropical region under the equator. Human settlement. Due to moderate temperatures and overall weather conditions, temperate zones are ideal for living. Therefore, a majority of people live in these regions. The human settlement in the temperate zone include a majority of European countries, USA, some parts of Canada, South Asian countries including Pakistan, Central Asia countries, the Middle East, some part of Western Asia, and most of North America. Tropical climate. Characteristics: hot and humid environment with frequent rainfall throughout the year. Regions: region in north right above the equator and region in south right below the equator. Human settlement: most of tropical zone settlements are found in half of South America, most of Australia, Southeast Asia, West Africa, Central Africa, and East Africa. Climate change. A variety of climate changes occur due to natural or man-made causes. Some extreme manifestations of climate changes include heat waves, earthquakes, floods, extreme glaciation, long period of drought, and so on, which have an adverse effect on the communities and overall ecosystem of the plant. At present, the global temperature of Earth is rising day by day due to increase in green effect on Earth's atmosphere. Atmosphere is the blanket of air that engulfs the Earth. And greenhouse effect is when gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapors trap heat in the atmosphere, moderating the Earth's overall temperature. When the amount of these gases increases over time due to natural phenomena or human activities, then the amount of heat trapped in the atmosphere increases too. This is what global warming is about. Human activities are causing pollution and increase in harmful gases, especially carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is leading to an increase in global temperature and hence global warming. Causes of climate change. There are many natural and man-made sources of climate change. Greenhouse gases. As discussed, some gases retain the heat in the atmosphere and do not let them escape from the earth. And as a result, the earth warmth increases, leading to climate change. These gases are carbon dioxide, CO2, methane, CH4, nitrous oxide, N2O, and water vapors, H2O. Carbon dioxide is released in the environment naturally through respiration and volcanic eruption, and also due to human activities. Industrial waste, fossil fuel burning, deforestation, improper municipal waste disposal, and so on. Since the beginning of Industrial Revolution in the late 18th century, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased 47%. Methane is hydrocarbon gas which remains in the atmosphere for about 15 years. Although it is low in amount in the atmosphere as compared to carbon dioxide, but is a more active greenhouse gas. It increases due to many natural and man-made factors such as decomposition of crop residues in agriculture, especially after rice cultivation, decomposition of waste in landfills, improper management of manure of livestock, human sewage, extraction and combustion of fossil fuel, and so on. Nitrous oxide is another powerful greenhouse gas, which is a chemical compound of nitrogen and oxygen. The natural sources of N2O are soils under natural vegetation and the ocean. It also increases in the environment due to similar human activities as carbon dioxide and methane, such as combustion of fossil fuels, industrial waste and industrial processes, use of chemical fertilizer in agriculture, nitric acid production, and so on. 62% of the gas is released by natural source and 38% is released by human sources. Industrial revolution has caused 40 to 50% increase in the N2O gas emission in recent times. Do you know? N2O has medical uses, especially in surgery and dentistry, for its anesthetic and pain reducing effects. However, inhaling nitrous oxide can be lethal if you do not get enough oxygen, which is known as hypoxia. Water vapors are the most abundant greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. But it also plays the role as feedback to the climate. As the Earth's atmosphere gets warmer, water vapor increases too. But so does the probability of clouds and precipitation. And clouds and precipitation help turning the weather cooler and pleasant, making them great feedback mechanism to the greenhouse effect. Number 2. Volcanic eruption. When a volcano erupts, it blasts off clouds of smoke, ash, dust, gases, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, and heat. Large volume of gases and ash emission from the volcanoes can impact the climate patterns for years. Number 3. Orbital changes of Earth. Changes or wobbles in the Earth's orbit can lead to shift in climate, which can be as extreme as beginning or ending of ice ages. These orbital changes are very gradual. They become evident over thousands of years, not decades or centuries. The Earth goes through cooling cycle which cause gradual but extreme climate change. The last ice age came to an end as an effect of cooling cycle around 12,000 years ago, and as per scientific estimates, the next cooling cycle is not expected before about 30,000 years. The Earth is not standing upright. Rather, it is tilted at an angle of 23.5 to the perpendicular plane of its orbital path. Changes in the tilt of the Earth can trigger minor but climatically significant changes in the strength of the season. The more the Earth tilts, the warmer the summers and cooler the winters will be. The less the Earth tilts, the cooler the summers and milder the winters will be. These slow changes in the stretch and intensity of seasons over tens of thousands of years produce end ice ages. Solar variation. Solar energy is one of the biggest parts of the Earth's climate. Although the output of solar energy seems constant from a daily perspective, but a small variation over extended period of time can trigger climate change. The higher the solar energy emission, the higher the Earth's temperature would be. According to some scientists, one of the factors responsible for global warming in the first half of the 20th century was increase in solar energy output. Effects of climate change. There are numerous effects of climate change which impact the environment and habitats of the Earth, such as rise in maximum temperature of Earth, rise in minimum temperature of Earth, rise in ocean temperature, melting of glacier and snow mountains, rise in sea level, change in the precipitation pattern. Some areas become wetter while others become drier. Increase in occurrence and intensity of natural disasters such as earthquake, drought, heat waves, storms, hurricanes, flood, wildfire, and so on. More health risks and allergies due to gases, heat waves, and air temperature variation. Low agriculture production due to natural disasters. Decreased quality of water and air. Loss of biodiversity due to low or no adaptability of flora and fauna. Economic loss due to the dealing with effects of climate change. We hope now you have learned about weather and climate. If some concepts are not clear, then replay the video again and again. And still if you have any question, then ask your teacher.